you there. Outlander. So I was right. You're a sword for hire. Excellent. My name is Marlo Rethan of House Hlalu, and I have a proposition for you. I need someone to investigate what's going on in the Vasya Ditanat ebony mine. Piqued your interest, have I? Capital. My brother Benar and I share ownership of the mine, but I suspect he's hiding something from me. The little weasel's even locked down the entrance. Only his personal guards are allowed inside.
Outside the house to find Veya. You look like the traveling sort. In your excursions, have you perchance come upon a young dark elf named Veya? She went missing a couple of weeks ago and her father desperately seeks any information regarding her whereabouts.
Please, this one needs to get out of here. Those cultists, they're insane.
All right, but keep your voice down. I'll be ready to leave soon enough. In the meantime, if anyone asks, you're just here to haul cargo.
What? Who? This one is just here to haul cargo. Cultists? This one said nothing about cultists. Perhaps you are thinking of another Khajiit. Look, Renaku just wants to leave all these crazy dark elves behind and find a safer mine to work in. The Shulk ore mine is cursed. Really? You? Just leave Renaku out of it. If you want to know what happened so badly, just go out to the Shulk ore mine and see for yourself. No one likes a Gwar liquor, you clawless kitten. It happened a few days back. Weird cultists just barged in and took over the mine. This one managed to get away, but the crew chief and some of the others are still out there. Happy now, fish breath?
Stupid dog.
What happened? Let me see.
I just tried to pet it. Damn dog bit me.
Leave it alone! There's something strange about that dog.
Hello. Here to stable a mount? If your guar's getting a little rough in the scales, you've come to the right place. You'll find no better guar handlers than those in Balmoral. The Silks.
You shouldn't be here. Didn't you read the House Redoran proclamation? I wouldn't be here myself, but some of my miners are still in there. Our mine was invaded by violent cultists. They showed up and just took the place over. My people are trapped. I'm no expert, but it looked like the cultists were preparing to conduct a ritual before the Ashlander interrupted them. Probably because I heard one of them say, "With this ritual we'll call forth a mystical weapon and attain the power of a god." Or something along those lines. Look, I was just trying to get me and my miners out of there when the Ashlander showed up. Well, I never actually saw an Ashlander, but I heard a cultist yell, "Ashlander thief! That's our mystical weapon!" That's not an exact quote, but you get the idea. I don't know what happened after that. I was kind of busy trying not to die. It used to be an ore mine, and we hope it will be again. My crew was inside preparing to start up mining operations when the cultists attacked. The way things are going, we might just have to turn the place into another Kwama egg mine. Really? That's awfully brave of you. If you see any of my miners, tell them to get their arses out here. I'll wait as long as I can. Or until I hear screaming. Then I'll go to Balmoral and try to find some help. Good luck in there. Be careful. Did you find what you were looking for in the mine? Of course. I perfectly understand. I think I'll wait a little longer and see if any of my miners were able to escape from the cultists. Good luck with your mission, whatever it is.
I demand to see my brother. Lay hands upon me, and you will lose them. You there! The territory of the Red Exiles shouldn't be traveled lightly. Ashlanders once respected each other, helped one another. You'd think these were house wolves or tribunal dogs, the way they treated me. Speaking of the tribunal, you have the smell of dog about you. I wonder why that is. Lord Vivec, is it? And I thought all the tribunal cared about was building monuments to their own greatness. Nice to see that one of them cares about what's going on beyond their borders. Well, perhaps we can aid each other this day, Outlander. Ashlanders are nomads, but we gather at sacred sites to trade, confer, and pay homage to the past. Aldrin is such a place. That's why Chodola invited the Red Exiles here. But these outcasts won't let me into their camp. I need to find my brother. My brother, Chodola, is the Ashkan of our tribe, and I am his ambassador. I act as a go-between among the tribes. Chodola wants to unite the Dunmer and calmly end the era of the bickering houses. He hopes to convince the tribes to follow his lead. Head into the Red Exiles camp and find my brother. Otherwise, see if you can find out what he was doing in there and where he's gone. Be wary of the outcasts. As you saw, they won't hesitate to attack without reason or provocation. No, just our tribe, the Urshilaku, though he's respected by most of the other Ashlanders for his wisdom and strength of will. He does hope to unite the tribes in a common cause, however. That's one of the reasons we've gathered here at Aldrin. My brother and I have always worked to help our people, and improve the Ashlander way of life. He used to believe that peaceful negotiation was the best. Recently, however, things have become different. He's almost like... No, that's not something I'm ready to talk about with an outsider. Perhaps after you prove your trustworthiness and willingness to help us, then we can discuss my brother in more detail. Perhaps. That's not our goal, but the tribes will defend themselves if necessary. No, we hope to present a united front and show the houses the folly of the path they've embarked upon. Turning away from our forefathers and god ancestors has made them weak. The Red Exiles, they're violent, dangerous Ashlanders who were banished from their tribes and joined together to create their own clan. Chodala invited them to the gathering and went into their camp to talk, but he's been gone too long. I'm worried. As you saw, hostility is second nature to the Red Exiles. We're here to negotiate, but they're no better than thieves and murderers. If they spot you in their camp, you'll need to defend yourself. It's unfortunate, but they'll leave you no choice. You seem to have survived your visit to the Red Exiles camp. Did you find my brother? Interesting. I never suspected that the outcasts were disciplined enough to keep records such as this. Oh no. I can't believe my brother would be so... brazen. It means that Chodala really has changed. With his newfound powers and rising ambitions, I fear what he plans for the tribes. I suppose you have a right to know what I'm talking about. Take this. I found it among my brother's possessions. Chodala discovered new power out in the wilderness, and it changed his view of the world. He writes about it in that document. Now he believes he's the Nerevarine, and incites the tribes while I try to keep them all from doing anything rash. You don't know? I thought... No, you're not an Ashlander. And the House Elves rarely talk about such things. Long ago, there was a hero named Nerevar. He fought alongside the Tribunal, before they claimed to be gods, until they betrayed him. So our legends say. Nerevar united the Kaima, and forged an alliance with the Dwemer. He died at the Battle of Red Mountain. We believe the Tribunal hastened his demise, despite Vivek's claims to the contrary. The Nerevarine is a promise and a prophecy. We believe that, through the power of Azura, Nerevar will return to unite all Dunmer, House and Ashlander alike, and make Morrowind great again. The returned Nerevar will be known as the Nerevarine. While the prophecy of the Nerevarine can be interpreted as the end of the Tribunal, I have always seen it as a prediction of hope and peace. Chodala and some Ashlanders, such as the Red Exiles, favor war. That's not the Nerevarine I believe in. He uses in Ashkon's words to plant dark ideas in his followers. Ideas that speak of false gods, lost traditions, and the need for a cleansing war. His words become more forceful every day, but I hope to dissuade him from this violent course. All I know is that his new power frightens me. Chodala returned from a sojourn in the wilderness more vibrant, more commanding. He's always been strong, but now he's fearless, practically invincible, and swifter than the fastest Ashlander scout. Chodala says his new abilities strengthen his claim as the Nerevarine. I think it's the staff he carries. He had it when he returned, and now it's always at his side. I know it's unreasonable, but I hate that staff. He calls it Sunara.
Hold, citizen. Be wary, traveler. Pilgrims have been attacked on these roads. Should you encounter violence, don't hesitate to call on us. We're here to protect you. I hope your confidence is merited. We have our hands full with the Dreg and the Ashlanders, so rescues are in short supply. Captain Artesia Naros is at the canton of Mola Gmar. She can tell you more than I. Safe travels.
Such displeasure and disappointment. Nothing works, even though every calculation is precise. Now an interruption. How infuriating. Wait. Sometimes the great gear turns from frustration to opportunity. Divine energy. I'll have you know I participated in Lord Sotha Seal's 9 analyses of the Exalted Enigmas. But we have more important matters. I'm about to determine the correlation between color and time, and I could use another set of hands. A reciprocal exchange. Interesting, yes. I can see the benefits of such an arrangement. Very well. Just activate the crystals in the proper sequence while I modulate the energy flow. Less chance of an explosion that way. No. Reset the mechanism and try again. You activate the crystals. Look for pure light, not muddled. I'll modulate the energy fluctuations, make sure nothing explodes. If color can... Good help is as rare as the legendary Last Dwemer. The clockwork is only as strong as its weakest cog. Just work your way up the rainbow. If the color isn't clear, examine the crystals. Start. Try again. No. Reset the mechanism and try again. Not in the proper sequence. Try again. So good. No. Reset the mechanism and try again. A good start. Keep going. Correct. So far, so good. Nice clockwork you are. Very close. One more to go. Yes, I love it when the gears align. Perfect. Such are the benefits of an extra set of appendages. The energy flows freely and without disruption, allowing the rods and the pistons to align in a most pleasing manner. Thank you. Now, why do you want to know about divine energy? Scent. How intriguing. I was just thinking about my former master, Sotha Seal, and the experiments we conducted. He desperately sought to understand the power he and his companions attained, especially whether or not that power was temporary. Not while I assisted him. He had a tool that he used to drain away minute bits of his own divine energy to store and study. He could extract it and return it as he saw fit. Not sure what became of the tool, but here are my notes from those days. More questions? Well, Lord Sotha Seal attributed curiosity to intellectual superiority. Suppose I should do the same. Ask, and I will attempt to tighten the cogs of your ongoing education as best I can. Odd question. Is a hammer a weapon? A saw? A Dwemer spring spanner? No.
It was just a tool, a device crafted by Sotha Sil to aid in his endless experiments. I suppose I could imagine ways to modify the device, but for what reason? Haven't a clue. Tools have a way of wandering off when you don't stay vigilant. I had a Gwar that used to swallow tools when I wasn't looking. Glowed for a month until the enchantment dissipated and the tool passed. Should have heard the screams. I was his apprentice, but that was years ago. Spent time working in the Clockwork City. That's where I learned about energy transference, Dwemer engineering, mechanical symmetry. Made me the Dark Elf I am today. I have a question. Who sent you? The Archcanon, Lord Vivec's High Priest. Suddenly the gears align. I can think of a number of reasons that Arm and V would want to know about C and his tools, but some doors just shouldn't be opened. He's the father of mysteries and the architect of time, one of the Tribunal, the three living gods of the Dark Elves. Creates all sorts of helpful and intriguing devices, like the Clockwork City. I haven't seen my old master in many years. It's a wonder and a miracle. Oh, brass tunnels, glass domes, and giant gears. He was inspired by the work of the Dwemer. But the Clockwork City is pure Sotha Sil. He made it to forge the future and reshape the world.
Outlander, over here!
This requires a considerable amount of effort, so just listen. We have a problem here. Return to my office immediately. At last. Did you see what's happening outside? Red Mountain rumbles louder and more frequently. The sky grows dark, and worst of all, the people are beginning to notice. Soon I'll have to muster the Ordinators to keep them from the palace doors. In part, Lord Vivec is not well. I won't allow his followers to see him in this state. He continues to lose energy, and it's becoming difficult for him to maintain the realm in his usual fashion. Now, what did your investigations uncover? I'll review these documents and present your findings to Lord Vivec. I was against bringing you into this investigation, but I was wrong. Thank you for aiding us. You should go see Lord Vivec now. He's been asking about you. I'll be along shortly. Very well. Tell me what you learned at each of the locations, and let's see what conclusions we can come to. Barrelzar faithfully served Sotha Sil. He's as loyal to the Tribunal as I am. He would never intentionally harm Lord Vivec. But that tool he mentioned... Perhaps one of the priests Vivec sent away should search the temple archives for more information. Lord Vivec doesn't want his followers to see him in such a weakened state. Only you, Canon Levuel, and myself are permitted into his palace now. Speaking of the palace, Lord Vivec wants to see you when we're done here. So your notes say, and this Saren assisted you. Interesting. Most Ashlanders want nothing to do with the Tribunal. Even so, they rarely become aggressive. I'd say this Chodala bears watching. If we can spare it, I'll send an armiger to Aldrin. Interesting theory. Perhaps Chodala's staff can steal Vivec's energy. I have a hard time imagining how an Ashlander could accomplish such a feat. From what you discovered, I dare say there may be a correlation between the Nicotic Relic and the tool Barrelzar mentioned. And it seems the Ashlander thieves are connected to Chodala. Your evidence points to a clear conclusion. So it appears. Lord Vivec's doing his best not to complain, but I can see how much the draining of his energy has cost him. Just seeing you again should improve his mood considerably. And the progress you made with your investigations, outstanding.
Lord Vivec isn't receiving visitors today.
My lord, please let me send for aid. Perhaps one of the healers can help you.
Pain is best tolerated in private, as I have written in the 37th ballad.
There must be something I can do.
You can call the Archcanon. He should hear the news our friend brings us. The river drains into the sea as my divinity flows out of me. Need some work. As you can see, I continue to lose energy, and it has made me somewhat agitated. Have you made any progress toward discovering the source of my discomfort? An Ashlander? That seems unlikely, but I trust your instincts. We need to find out more about this Chodala and the ancient enemy that aids him. Take this. Another token of my appreciation. And look, here comes the Archcanon now.
Odd. The Outlander may have actually discovered something. After further examination of the documents you brought back, I have to agree with your assessment. The Ashlander Chodala has somehow siphoned divine energy away from Lord Vivec. Not exactly. But now that we know that the affliction isn't natural, we can work toward a solution, one that probably involves Chodala's staff. How the Ashlander got his hands on Sotha Sil's tool and turned it into a weapon is beyond me, though. Eventually, but we need to be cautious. If Chodala is as respected as you say, attacking him would start a war we can't afford to partake in. Go to Aldrin and talk to his sister, Saren. I don't trust her either, but she worked with you before. Get to Aldrin and locate Saren. She needs to tell us more about Chodala and then help us acquire his staff. Without it, we can't restore Vivec. Meanwhile, I need to placate the populace. The people grow concerned over Vivec's continuing isolation.
Ah, a fellow outsider in this inhospitable Sea of Ash. I wonder if we might help each other.
Outlander, quickly! This way! I've been thinking about my brother's claim that he's the Nerevarine since we last spoke. No matter how I try, the word tastes false on my tongue. And now I fear he's about to convince the wise woman that his quest for power will benefit the tribes. My brother is respected and revered. He has allies in all of the tribes, not to mention his personal Red Exiles. We have to proceed with caution. Respect the anything else will lead to violence and bloodshed. We talked to my brother. Tried to convince him this isn't the way. Barring that, we make sure the wise woman doesn't get drawn into his madness. Whatever Chodola says or does, don't attack him. We don't need a war between the houses and the Ashlanders. I was hoping she'd be here.
You're too late, dear sister. Despite your protestations, the wise woman has gone to the Cave of the Incarnate to confirm my claim.
Brother, do you really want to pursue this dangerous course?
There was a time when you gave me your unconditional support, Seren. I miss those days.
My brother Chodola's about to do something foolish and dangerous. But by dusk and dawn, Azura put you and I on the same path for a purpose. I just hope we have enough time. He's about to claim the title of the Nerevarine and try to unite the Ashlander tribes gathered here. He already convinced the Red Exiles to support him. He's using them to intimidate the other tribes. If he persuaded the Wise Woman to his cause... Wise Woman Dovracy, the most respected counselor and spirit guide this side of Red Mountain. She went to the Cavern of the Incarnate to meditate on Chodola's claim. If she confirms my brother's assertion, the tribes will follow wherever he leads. Agreed, but I dare not leave Chodola alone with the tribes. I feel the hand of Azura in all this. Go to the Cavern of the Incarnate and talk to the Wise Woman. I'll stay here and try to keep things under control until you return. The cavern's to the northeast of Aldrin, on the other side of the mountain. Hopefully, the rumbling and lava won't slow you down too much. Get to the cavern and talk to the Wise Woman. If she accepts Chodola's claim about the Nerevarine... My brother isn't the first to believe he's Nerevar returned. All of the previous failed incarnates rest within the cavern. A statue of Azura watches over them as they await the arrival of the true Nerevarine. Azura proclaimed that someday, Indorel Nerevar, a hero from our ancient past, would return to unite the Dark Elves and right the wrongs of Nirn. We call the returned incarnate the Nerevarine. My brother Chodola believed. When Chodola became a Gulakhan, a champion of our people, I supported him. When he stepped forward as Ashkan, leader of our tribe, I was at his side. But this new claim, it comes with strange powers and talk of war. I can't support those things.
She won't refuse my claim. Just in case, make sure the Red Exiles are ready.
Your word is law, Nerevarine.
You helped my sister. Thank you for that. But you don't need to worry about the Red Exiles anymore. They're under my control now. As for everything else, that's Ashlander business. There's no place for an Outlander here. Plotting? No, I'm confident that the false god will fall. Azura has proclaimed this, and I know it to be true. The Tribunal betrayed our hero and turned away from our religion. And they call us heretics. Bah! How overly simplistic the world must be to your eyes, Outlander. I am Nerevar reborn. I will lead my people to power and glory. The wise woman knows this. She will proclaim it when she returns. And no tribunal lapdogs can change that. My sister is too naive and idealistic for her own good. Look at the power I wield. Feel the conviction in my words. While the House Elves squabble and fight to carve up our land, the Nerevarine will step forth to end their tyranny once and for all.
For the 80th time, help is on the way. I've received assurances from House Redoran. They will handle this trouble in the mine. You need only be patient.
Patient? The foreman just dragged another egg hen out of the mine and he's worse than the rest. This is on your head, Malena.
For the 80th time, help is on the way. I've received assurances from House Redoran.
Tales of make-believe may scare off gullible travelers, but no, those ruins belong to me now.
Azura is my shield, you foul creatures. Thank you for aiding me, but I sense you came for a different purpose. Let's talk inside the castle. Outlander, we must talk. It feels strange to talk to an Outlander in such a sacred place, but the Queen of the Night Sky insists. I need to render judgment on an important claim, and she says you can help me reach the correct decision. Words of truth from the mouth of an Outlander. Remarkable. The Red Exiles and a few others believe that Chodola is the Nerevarine. He's convinced them, but not me. I came here to consider my options. I fear a bloodbath if I oppose his claim. Perhaps, but I must remain impartial. If someone else reveals the flaws in Chodola's claims by comparing him to the failed incarnates, that might do the trick. We thought the incarnates were possessed by the spirit of Nerevar, but each had a critical flaw that made them destined to fail to fulfill the prophecy. Their spirits reside here. Yes, you should speak to the incarnates. I see Azura's wisdom now. Take this pouch of blessed grave dust. Sprinkle a pinch upon the bones of the incarnates to call forth their spirits. Return to Aldrin after you have learned all you can. Perhaps we can curb Chodola's ambitions before they lead us to war. We need knowledge to defeat Chodola, Outlander. Listen well to what the failed incarnates have to say. Once I was the hope of my people, but then my claim was proven false. Now I wait, and I hope for the Nerevarion's return. State your question, Outlander, and I shall do as Azura urges. To fulfill the prophecy, I followed a path of blood and war. In the end, my path became a road that led nowhere, and I was cast down from my lofty spot. Take my scroll, and help the wise woman understand the futility of a senseless war.
The Nerevarine remains a promise unfulfilled, and I am as guilty of prideful posturing as every other failed incarnate that occupies this hall. Ask your question and let's be done with this, Outlander. The Nerevarine must listen as well as proclaim. I refuse to accept wise counsel, which led to the doom of my tribe and the end of my quest to embody the spirit of Nerevar. Take my scroll and remind the wise woman that wisdom ignored is ignorance.
We are the failed incarnates, the Ashlanders who proudly proclaimed themselves to be the Nerevarine, but were found wanting. Take my scroll and help the wise woman see the lie of unbridled power. I thought myself the reborn Nerevar, for I was the strongest, most powerful warrior in all the land. But power alone won't save my people. In the end, it couldn't even save me.
Mortal, let us speak. I foresaw your usefulness before you even set foot in Vardenfell. Now comes a test that will challenge your ability to separate truth from lies. You must convince the tribes that Chodola is not the Nerevarine. Doversee's wisdom outshines most other mortals. She recognizes the futility of Chodola's claim. If she rebuffs him, however, the tribes will turn on each other, and blood will flow. The staff, Sunra, it makes Chodola confident. Your instincts serve you well. Chodola's path took a dark turn. However, my sight clouds when I look too closely. So Thasiel built Sunara, but he did not create it with this vile purpose in mind. You must act on my behalf, and Vivec's. Then go, return to Aldrune, and help the Wise Woman reveal the falsehood of Chodala's claim. And let Saren assist you. She is my champion, and a trusted friend of all Ashlanders. Use what the Incarnate shared with you. Their failures point the way toward Chodala's downfall. But beware Chodala's power. He may not be the Nerevarine, but some greater agency has lent strength to his conviction. Due to an ancient pact, I am not permitted to interfere in the affairs of Nirn. Even this casual discussion pushes the boundaries of that agreement. Instead, I must work through trusted agents, such as yourself and Saren. Helping that arrogant imposter? Whatever gave you the idea that I was helping that murderer? Vardenfell must stand. Everything I do in this regard serves that single goal. Best that you remember that, mortal.
Thank the moon and star. You've returned. The Wise Woman returned from the Cavern of the Incarnate and went right into Scar to meet with the tribes. Chodala's in there too, about to be named the Nerevarine. Tell me you came back with something to stop my brother's rise to power. Of course. Use the tales of the failed Incarnates to counter Chodala's arguments. That's brilliant. Well, except for one problem. An Outlander has no status in the Council. The Ashlanders won't listen to a word you say. Someone else has to present the arguments. Someone they trust. I suppose that means I have to challenge my brother. With your help, of course. You spoke to the Incarnates, not me. I'm familiar with their stories, but I'll need you to help me choose the appropriate argument to counter each of Chodala's claims. I hate opposing my brother in this. I just don't see another way. Incarnate Runso was strong and powerful. He thought that by strength alone, he could unite the Ashlanders. He failed. When Chodala proclaims his power, that's when we'll refer to this scroll's sad tale. Incarnate Adiri was a champion of my people. She defended us against great threats. But when she grew to love war for war's sake, she proved she wasn't the Nerevarine. When Chodala proclaims that war is the answer, hand me this scroll. Incarnate Darnot thought his way was the best way. He rejected the counsel of the Wise Women and the Ashkans, something Nerevar would never do, When Chodola proclaims he knows better than anyone, we'll use this scroll. Meet me inside.
Continue this farce? It's obvious that I'm the Nerevarine.
Someone has stepped forward to challenge your claim, Chodola.
Seren, I'm disappointed in you, dear sister.
Enough. I shall hear your arguments and render my decision.
Even the Outlander can see that I'm the most powerful Ashkan. My strength alone proves that I am the Nerevarine.
Chodola puts forth his great strength as proof of his claim. Give me the scroll that discounts such a trait for the Nerevarine. Yes, that's a sound argument. Incarnate, appear!
As a warrior and as an Ashkan, I was the most powerful of my age. But for all my strength, I failed my people. Don't follow my example.
The faithless houses dare to threaten our land, but we shall meet them in battle, and I will lead us to victory.
This is more nerve-wracking than I anticipated. Which scroll do you recommend to counter this argument? That makes sense. I'll try that. Incarnate, appear!
I thought the path to the Nerevarine was a path of blood and battle, but my love of war was my undoing. War is not the way.
These failed incarnates prove nothing! I need no counsel but my own, as befits my status as the Nerevarine.
I think it's working. One more... Of course. Incarnate, appear!
I refuse to accept the counsel of the wise women of the Ashkans. I thought I knew best, but I knew nothing. That is not the way of the Nerevarine.
Seren and the Outlander, their arguments have merit. Chodola, we deny your claim. You are not the Nerevarine.
This proves nothing! Look how the staff protects me! I am the Nerevarine! Red Exiles...
Brother, no!
For Chodola! For the Nerevarine! Go to my hut and get my healers.
I hate what my brother's become.
Right away, wise woman.
Mortal, I would have words with you. Chodola has been revealed as a failed Nerevarine, but that hasn't dissuaded him from his reckless course of action. As long as he wields the staff, he shall be unstoppable. Time is against you, mortal. Even now, Vivec, that pompous usurper, grows increasingly weaker. As much as I deplore him, Vivec cannot fall to Chodola's vile magic. There's another power at work here. One I can't quite put my finger on. Return to Vivec City. Do what you can to aid Vivec, and pay heed to my faithful vessel, Saren. I name her Champion of the Moon and Star. She will play a pivotal role in ending her brother's march toward godhood, if she survives.
That was exhilarating. That was glorious. Lady Azura's presence filled me with such wonder. She actually spoke through me. I heard everything she said, and I felt her sense of urgency. You need to return to Vivec City immediately. And help you I shall. Return to Vivec City, while I track down my brother and his damnable staff. With the Ashlanders against him, he won't have many options. After I locate him, I'll meet you, and we can find a way to break through Chodola's defenses.
Does his city suffer? I know my people grow fearful. Even the Archcanon is distressed. But the energy that remains to me holds the moonlit in the sky. At least for now. So what news does my eyes and ears bring to me? How this upstart Ashlander learned to attune Sotha Seal's tool confounds my understanding. And he dares use my power? Still, your help is appreciated. Every strike and parry takes us one step closer to ending this threat and restoring my vitality.
Due to Lord Vivec's condition, it falls upon us to find a solution. Lord Vivec must conserve his remaining energy, so we need to solve this problem on our own. It all comes back to Chodola. That damned Ashlander's draining the warrior poet's power. We need to stop him and get that damned staff. How should I know? That's not a skill the Tribunal teaches. Return to Barrowzar's tower and get Sothis Sil's former apprentice to come up with some kind of countermeasure. I'm sure he knows more than he's told you. I do have one concern, though. You see right through me, Outlander. I have more worries than a Quama Queen has eggs. I'm talking about Chodala's sister. Seren claims to want to help, to want peace, but I don't trust her. Seek out Barrowzar, but be wary of the Ashlander's sister. We need to stop Chodala, and to do that, we need to find a way to overcome the device he's wielding. Find Barrowzar and make sure that crazy mage provides you with something we can use to save Lord Vivec. Is the bull sure it can bed the Betty? No. But by all accounts, we'll be better off with Sunara in our hands and away from Chodala. That won't be possible, however, as long as the Ashlander remains impervious to every attack. The female Ashlander? Well, if that wasn't enough of a reason, remember that she's also Chodala's sister. Blood sings to blood, as the warrior poet so elegantly put it. Be wary of that one, Outlander. She'll stab you in the back, mark my words. Vivec loves this land, and the land loves him in return. He's always had a special bond with Vvardenfell. Is it so hard to believe that Red Mountain reflects his suffering? Beyond that, there's also Bardau, the moonlit that floats above us. Lord Vivec's intervention stopped the moonlit from crashing into the city. He holds it above us by strength of will. But as he weakens, so too does the power that keeps the rock afloat. If Vivec's energy wanes further, it would spell disaster.
Is someone up there? I could use some help down here. way, please. I have a natural aversion to Daedra. To concentrate and maintain schedules when interruptions constantly occur. Don't they know the Great Gear never pauses in its rotations? So that was you up there. I appreciate the assistance. Daedric entities can be very unpredictable. Logic has very little place in the behavior of Daedra, my hopeful associate. Studying the fabric of reality does tend to attract unwanted attention. But these creatures appeared just before you entered my tower. I wonder, why have you returned? Ah, a modification of my master's old experiments, turning a simple tool into a dangerous weapon. Ingenious! Evil, yes, but also quite brilliant. A tonal inverter should counter it. Uses sound waves to temporarily disrupt the flow of energy. No, of course not. I just invented it. I need proper components to build such a device. My hirelings scour the land for materials all the time. Here's a list. Head out the back door and ask them to direct you to these common dwarven components. Hirelings? Yes, they worked for me, before they quit, ungrateful netches. Still, I paid them well before the pistons slipped their alignments. They should know where to find the components. Last I heard, Snorfen and the others were in Molag Mar. The situation is wound dangerously tight, but I believe the gears revolve around you. Once you leave, I should be perfectly safe. Or at least as safe as I ever am in the midst of all these experiments. You, however, stay vigilant, my friend. I could, but I won't pour 5-year-old Flynn into a cracked decanter. No offense. Suffice it to say, they're fairly common as far as Dwemer components go. Use the list and talk to my former hirelings. I'll build the device the moment you return.
I feel like such a puny snowback, hiding here in Molag Mar. But you don't want to hear about my troubles. What can this broken Nord do for you? Berelzar. He's the reason I'm a shattered man, doomed to become a cowering sheep like the rest of these pilgrims. All right, let me see that. Arkanthong Stordoms. You can find a Sonance generator there, after you deal with the steam trap. The cursed contraption. I almost had it figured out when a ghost floated up to me. No problem, I think. But then it enters a Centurion. Ghost machines. No sane Nord can fight ghost machines. I dropped my notes and ran as fast as I could. Not just ghosts. Ghosts that possess dwarven machines. I'm through working for that crazy old mage and his clockwork monstrosities. But if you want to get past the steam trap, find my notes and follow the directions.
If you're another pilgrim looking for charity, I suggest you move along. I have neither the time to waste nor the gold to spare. I'm currently between employment, and my own funds have become dangerously depleted. Let me see that. What's that crazy mage need this time? I suppose you could find a manual clockwork shaft in the Nichuleft ruins. But I'd avoid that place if I were you. If the roof doesn't collapse, the constructs will rip you apart. If you insist. Deep in the ruins churns a big machine. When I was there, it sputtered and vibrated, collapsing parts of the ceiling. Lava and rock fell everywhere. You need to get past that and some nasty constructs to retrieve the item. That mage is a menace. Oh, he always paid well, but the places he asked me to go, Each was more dangerous than the last. And if I had to hear about the Great Gear one more time... For my own health and sanity, I had to break ties with Barrelzar.
I'm sorry that there were problems at the mine, but I'm certain everything will get back to normal soon.
Another new face. If you're passing through, pay attention. I'll say this once. Pilgrims who ignore my warning, that...
My recipes appear as a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day.
Damned vampires. I'll find a way to make them pay for what they did to my brother. I swear it on the tribunal and any Daedra willing enough to listen. What do you want? Can't you leave a person to her anger and her grief? He did he? Let me see that list. Well, the crazy old mage always said there were no coincidences. The inversion conduit. I saw one in Galome Deus, right before I barely escaped from those damned vampires. Eager to become cattle for the Bloodsuckers? The Burn Clan killed my brother. Damn their eyes. The item you seek was in the manufactory, but you'll need a control rod to get a dwarven spider to unlock it for you. Because the mage wanted to send me to the far side of Vardenfell, and I need to remain here. I'm not going anywhere until I make the Burn Clan pay for what it did to my brother. If you can kill some of the bastards, that'll be a start.
You're supposed to be in the... Wait. My Quama mine's been taken. You're supposed... not done yet. Cowards, the lot of them. This mine belongs to House Celos. Discipline this bunch. So you believed there was gold in here? Fools.
Turva, drop those weapons, murderer.
Ah, Navina. I suspected you were smarter than your father.
You'll pay for this, Sadri.
Well, you'll have to catch me first.
By Vivec, no! Ah, the murderer's accomplice. I think I'll kill you first. You mean you're not in league with that Sadri character? I find that hard to believe. Turva Sadri is a murderer. He brought in these thugs to drive out our miners, searching for his money. Well, yes. So, did you find Sardri? Did you get... That's the deed, all right. I didn't think I liked you when I met you, but you've grown on me. Now to deal with the hole the Kwama dug. There's some kind of Dwemer ruined down there. This whole affair might turn out better than I thought it would. What a mess. We'll be eating omelets tonight, I can tell you. None whatsoever. And I wish the burrowers had never broken through. This is nothing but trouble. Oh, I admit, it looks kind of pretty. But no miner's going to want to work in a pit that's infested by rolling buzzsaws. Just doing what comes naturally. And now their warriors are defending the hive. Kwama eggs are treasure enough for me. Thank you. That's what I know, and that's what we'll stick with.
They said I... I am a free egg sister.
At fair prices.